Yes, now we are.
All right, Tanner, it's 11 o'clock. Looks like we have a full agenda, so let's go ahead and have you, take roll.
All right, when I state your jurisdiction, if you could state your name, that'd be great. Start with Benton-Franklin Transit. Benton County. City of Benton City. City of Connell. City of Kennewick.
John Cowling.
City of Pasco.
Maria Serra.
City of Prosser.
Marty Groom.
City of Richland.
Carlo D'Alessandro.
City of West Richland.
Roscoe Slade.
Franklin County. Port of Benton. If Brian is here. Franklin
can you
County.
hear me?
What's that, Ryan?
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
I didn't know if you'd hear me or not.
Yeah, no problem. And then Port of Kennewick. Port of Pasco. And Washtenaw.
Seth Walker.
All right. Yep, we're good.
We've got enough for quorum?
Yep.
Conduct business, perfect. All right, on the agenda is our first opportunity for public comments. Any of our guests, raise your hand to be recognized. If you have any public comments for us? You see anybody, Tanner?
I didn't know that.
Nothing, Dave? Okay, we'll catch you. Approval of the agenda. So, it's before you, looking for a motion and a second to approve our agenda.
I move to approve.
Thank you, Maria.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, we got an agenda. In your packet was the meeting minutes from the previous TAC meeting on April 10th. Looking for a motion and a second to approve them.
I move to approve.
Thank you, Maria.
I'll
Second.
second.
Didn't catch you. Was that Marty or?
Yes,
Marty?
both of
Okay.
us.
Thank you. Any comments, questions on the meeting minutes? Anybody? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, got approved meeting minutes. So action items, the first one is 6A, tip policies and procedures. Tanner, you're up.
All right, yeah, so in the TAC packet is the draft tip policies and procedures. It's aligned with the call for projects update and those penalties that ensue if deadlines are not met. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but if not, the recommended approval of the tip policies and procedures.
So Tanner, what was the difference from our previous one? It's really the penalty if you don't perform.
It's the policy for really the project delivery. It's adding if you are not truthful, if you state that you're gonna obligate and don't, consequences and such.
Okay. Any questions or concerns for Tanner? If not, entertain a motion to approve it. I'm looking for a second.
I move to approve.
Thank you, Maria. We're gonna be here all day. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Marty. All right, any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, motion carries.
So item 6B, comprehensive safety action plan. In your packet, we have a draft of the comprehensive safety action plan. Public comment period closed on 4/27. In this final CSAP working group, I did tell folks that they had until next Monday to give me comments, and then I'll make sure to edit those if there's any that I can fix or attend to. And then we'll send it in the board packet next Friday. So if there are no questions, the proposed motion is I recommend approval of the comprehensive safety action plan.
Any questions of Daisy on the CSAP plan? Heather, do you see anybody on that?
No.
Okay, if no comments or questions, so looking for a motion to approve.
I move to approve.
All right, I heard some new voices. Let's get some. John, I heard John.
Sure. Yep.
All right, John, and do we have a second? Marty's a second. Okay. Any other final call for questions, comments?
So I have a question. This is Maria. There were meetings with different jurisdictions. Like what were the takeaways from those, or were they more informational?
Yeah, we held 2 working group meetings. I would say most of the representation was at the engineer level, from jurisdictions. I think the key takeaways were, making sure, number one, making sure that the FHWA proven countermeasures were very clearly called out, which it is in the appendix, but just making sure, I know I talked to John Deskins from Richland, just making sure that, those are super clear because that's really important for those applications. So just making sure all of that can be connected clearly in applications for jurisdictions. And there was a little bit of discussion about the regional safety commitment that is at the beginning, that's also required of a plan like this. The discussion was mostly around how it's hard to say that there will be 0 fatalities and serious injuries, but obviously it's an important, goal to have. So I think we just had a little discussion on that. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything, but I would say those are the key discussion points from the working groups.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Anyone else? All right, we have a motion, a second, so all in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. We've got approved CSAP. Next on the agenda is the state fiscal year 26-27 Unified Planning Work Program, UPWP. Aaron, is that yours?
Yes, it is, and thank you for spelling it out so I can just use the acronym now. So before you and in your packet is the 26 through 27 Unified Planning Work Program, also known as the UPWP. It spells out the MPO and RTPO side of the COG's work program, what tasks will be accomplished over the next 2 years, and the budget associated with it. We are having a informational presentation on May 7th from 3 to 4 if you would like to learn more information about the Unified Planning Work Program. We met with WSDOT FHWA on April 23rd, and they gave feedback on this document. And they gave some glowing reviews of our planning program. Some of the quotes they said is that BFCOG is the best MPO in the state when it comes to public participation. They love how approachable our documents are. BFCOG has great community awareness, and we love listening to the passion of the BFCOG team members. So it was really good to hear that from our state and federal partners. We're still waiting on feedback from FTA in regards to this document. We will be incorporating their comments once they come in before the board packet goes out next Friday. With that, the proposed motion is in front of you, and I can answer any questions.
Thanks, Aaron. Anybody got questions on the work plan for Aaron? Let them off this easy. All right, with that, looking for a motion and a second to approve.
I move to approve.
Thank you, Maria.
I'll second.
I didn't catch that.
We'll go with Brian Bell.
Brian, okay. Yeah, motion and second. Thanks, guys. Last chance for comments, questions? Aaron? See anybody? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. We're on to action item 6D, which is Safe Routes to School Action Plan. Daisy, you're back up.
Yes, so we have the Safe Routes to School Action Plan presented today in your packet. It is been a kind of a long time coming and a very exciting plan to be presenting to you all and to the board. We just had our final working group meeting last month, which was really interesting and got a lot of good feedback and just conversation in general about the plan. And we did get a message from the Kennewick School District. They're going to be putting all of our maps on our website, on their website, which is exciting. So hopefully we can continue working with school districts to get all of the safe route maps onto websites. But with that, I can answer any questions. And the proposed motion is I recommend approval of the Benton-Franklin Regional Safe Routes to School Action Plan.
Thank you. Any questions for Daisy?
So Kennewick School District obviously shows support of those plans, but did the other school districts weigh in on if they felt they were good and wanted that? Okay.
Yeah, we did. So we did those interviews with each principal and the superintendent. And we got good feedback. They said the goal was that they wanted to add them to their website. Obviously, it requires more than just saying that to get there. But I would say we got good feedback. And in conversations with John, it sounds like he's interested in helping kind of ground truth those to make them something that the school district would also put on the website. But I would say positive support generally.
I mean, in the past in Richland, we were the ones posting the safe routes school maps, not even Richland School District, so. It's just, we'll probably end up adopting those ourselves and putting them on our website.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I think ideally over the next few years, each year we'll pick one school district to focus on and like really ground truth and do the walk audits and stuff. That takes a lot of time, but that would be the goal.
Great.
Any other questions for Daisy?
Yes, so I noticed that the comment period ended, just a few days ago. How much of the public comment was, or, ended up being something that needed revisions or additions? Where was there meaningful comments received from the outreach?
Yeah, I would say we didn't get any official public comment for the Safe Routes to School plan. We got comment in our open houses and in the working groups. And so that's kind of the feedback that I'm referring to. I would say we had someone from the school board of Kennewick come, and that was a good conversation during the open house. And then just a few other general residents. But yeah, I think it's hard, to get the feedback that I would like to get, despite, how much outreach we attempt to do and we do in fact complete, but that's always the goal to get.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, we struggle with the same thing. We do a lot of outreach, and I don't know if it's fatigue from like all the different outreach happening at once, or I don't know, but it's really hard to engage the community. Seems like the comments come after we have final documents, and it's like, sheesh. We wish we would have heard that earlier so we could have accommodated it, right? So anyways, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
One of the things that I had done when we did our safe routes school plan was present it to the board, the school boards themselves. I
Yeah,
don't know if that's something we plan on doing, but might be worthwhile.
Yeah.
They appreciate those efforts, even though they may not get involved.
And then you can ask them to formally adopt it.
yeah. No, that's a great idea. We've
And
interacted.
put it on your website.
Put it on the website. Yeah, thank you. That's a good idea.
Any other questions for Davey? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Or do I have a motion?
Maybe a motion.
I already had a motion.
I don't think-
No.
I didn't have a motion on this one? All right, looking for a motion in a second to approve.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
You catch those, Tanner?
I believe it was John and Ally.
Okay, perfect. Last chance for comments or questions? Any, all in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. Next on the agenda is 6E, travel demand modeling contract. Aaron, back up.
All right, within your packet, you had a copy of the Transpo Group's proposal for the travel demand modeling contract RFP that went out earlier this year. We had three proposals submitted. It was the Transpo Group, DKS, and Cambridge Systematics. And the scoring committee ranked them in that following order, with the Transpo Group coming out on top, then DKS, and then Cambridge Systematics. Transpo is our current travel demand modeling consultant under contract. They've been doing excellent work and working with many of the local jurisdictions. With that, I can have any question, or I can answer any questions, and the proposed motion is on the screen in front of you.
Thanks, Aaron. Who was on the scoring committee? Do you have that?
Yeah, it was representatives from West Richland, Pasco, Kennewick, Ben-Franklin Transit.
Perfect, good, okay. Any other questions for Aaron? All right, looking for a motion and a second to approve the contract with Transpo.
I'll move to approve the contract with Transpo.
Thanks, Carlo.
I second.
Thank you, Maria. Any final comments, questions for Aaron? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the 2025 call for projects. Aaron, you're still up.
All right, here's the big one. Tanner, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, within your TAC packet, there were the results of the call for projects. There was also the scores everybody submitted, as well as the staff scores of the projects. Before you on this screen is the ultimate results of the call for projects. So these are the projects that did receive funding. And some high points that I would say from this are we still have about $743,000 available due to having no TAP rural projects submitted, and the TAP urban large did not use all of their funding as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Going forward with the projects that do receive, that are out or set to receive funding, we'll be working with jurisdictions to maybe shift the year that they are set to be receiving projects or set to be receiving funding. I do want to state, though, that does not mean that you cannot allocate within the year that you are anticipating that being done. For example, 2028 right now is an extremely heavy year. If your project gets shifted to 2029, you can still allocate and obligate your project within 2028. You have a 2-year window that you could do that, but we're just trying to show fiscal responsibility, especially with, I believe it's about $9 million is set to be spent in 2028, so we're trying to spread that out. I'll say, before we move any farther, is there any questions on that? Okay, well, I'd say as this is a new process for our call for projects, over the next couple months, I don't know if it'll be, it won't be the June TAC meeting, but maybe the July or August. I would like to hold a debrief or maybe a special meeting about what worked, what did not work about this process. and if there's any specific data that the COG needs to purchase to improve the call for projects process. For example, do we need to have more up-to-date safety or crash data to make that part of the scoring criteria more strict, so on and so forth, or other things that need to be tweaked so we can keep improving this. I think we took a huge step forward from the last process, but that is just one person's opinion. So Tanner, if you can go to the next slide, please. And with that, the proposed motion is before you on the screen.
Thanks, Aaron. Any comments or questions for Aaron?
So let
Aaron,
me
how
ask
did
you.
that?
Oh,
Go ahead,
sorry.
Ray. Ask your question.
Yeah,
Ask your
let me
question.
ask you, what is the plan for that available funding? Is it gonna remain unallocated and then bundled with some other dollars? Are there dollars that should be spent and we're at risk of losing them? Like, I don't know, give me a little more.
So right now, so if we do not spend that 743, we are still over our target. However, it is much better to show us being over our target than under our target or even at our target. So that will be a conversation that we can have with the TAC. I'd say at a later month of, do we want to move forward with fully funding or starting to fund a preservation project? We only have one partially funded project, and that was Benton County's their phase 3. So yeah, county well phase 3. That was the only project that was partially funded. So that is something that we could talk about. Do we want to move those funds towards that? So that'll be a discussion for a later month.
Aaron, I had a question.
Yeah.
Kind of, Maria stole my thunder, but I was going to follow up on that. We didn't do the call for the CRP. Do you have an update on that funding?
From what we've been told is that the CRP will not be continued.
So that program's
So right now it is scheduled to go through 2026, and then after 2026, so September of next year, it will not be continued. That is what we've been told right now. It is very much still subject to change.
Okay. My thought was that program was going to continue to combine that TAP funds into it and have a bigger call. But okay.
That would make sense.
Any other questions for Aaron? Well, I'll ask. I'm not going to let you out this easy. When you talk about possibly taking that TAP funds and putting to Benton County, is that have a TAP element to it?
Good question,
Or could we look at taking, I can just say urban large, like our Keene Road widening has a pathway and some other stuff on it, so we could move urban large money and supplant it with TAP. That would make it available for some of these projects to get that project fully funded. Is that another method that we're going to look at in the future?
Yeah, I'll answer the first part, then the second part. First part is that, so TAP funding is a specific percentage of our total amount that we have to spend. So TAP funding can be shifted towards a STBG project. So that can happen since we are just over the required percentage. It's 7.5. We're at like 7.58 with the funding. Your second part of the question, I can definitely look into that. Having a project be split funded might be something that I don't know if that would come with extra strings attached or anything like that, but that's something I'll look into.
I think it brings in the match. If it's not 100% TAP, that'll be something to look at. But okay, just looking to how what project was partially funded? What agency?
Benton County.
Okay, yeah, it would be nice if we could figure out, what was the gap on it? Is the 743 fully funded or is it still short?
No, that would not fully fund it.
Okay.
The
All right.
contingency,
Any other-
the contingency list is in the, is within the TAC packet.
Okay. Any other questions for Aaron before he loses his voice?
I can keep trying to answer questions and we can see how fast I'll lose it.
All right, no questions. Looking for a motion and a second to approve the 2025 health project.
I move to approve.
Thank you, Maria.
I'll second.
Thank you, Carlos. You got a second? Last chance for questions or comments? When does this go to the board, Aaron? This month?
It goes to our board on the 16th.
16th, okay. All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, motion carries.
Nice.
All right, we're on to reports and discussion items. The 7A is the Transportation Improvement Program obligation status and the TIP workshop. Tanner.
Yeah, so we've still yet to receive our finalized obligation authority target for 2025 federal fiscal year. It was noted during the meeting with WashDOT that they anticipate receiving or providing us that information by May 12th. So as of right now, it's still estimated at 9.1 million. And as of May, we've obligated 3 projects for a total of 5.4 million, almost 5.5. And the estimated remaining target amount is just under 3.7 million. We can do a little, after I do my TIP workshop, we can do updates. And I will say, once we do receive that final target, I will send out an updated or an email with an updated obligation table and request for obligation updates from each jurisdiction. And so I'll go on to the TIP workshop and then we can do project obligation updates. Jurisdiction. So on May 14th, it's Wednesday, from 1 to 2:30, we're doing the second annual TIP workshop. It's going to cover the TIP development process for the document, the schedule and all that. How to submit TIP amendments and administrative modifications, and a refresher on how to navigate the wonderful Secure Access Washington system. What we're gonna do this time, so we can have the recording on our website and the discussions not included, is I'm gonna pre-record it. And we're gonna go through it during the workshop and pause whenever there's a question, resume once that question's answered. Just so when new employees or whoever wants to go back to the website and, go to certain timestamps, they don't have to sit through the discussion parts. And then I will show the obligation status table. And we can start with Franklin County on the North Railroad app for an update.
Yeah, do you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're on target with that. We're going to probably send our paperwork in July. As you know, once you obligate, you're supposed to go out to bid within 6 weeks after you've been notified it's your letter. And we're really hoping more for early to start construction on that in like January. So yeah, we're on target. We're ready to go.
What was the amount? I can't see that.
1.7 million.
Okay, what do we need?
3.65.
Okay,
And so leading into that is Kennewick, which I believe
We're still on target. We're still on target to obligate that 2 million this summer, June or July, so shouldn't be an issue.
thanks, John. So between Tanner, Franklin County and Kennewick, that it's our target.
Yeah, if the finalized target.
They don't change the number on you?
And Stephanie Tax from WashDOT said the max increase from the, blanking on it, the max increase from last year would be 5%, which is what our 9.11 is. So it should be in
Close.
yeah, what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should be good. Marty Prosser,
Yeah, I'm hearing, this month, we should obligate.
great, awesome. Oh. Okay. Benton City, I don't believe Nathan's here. I will send him an email for an update. And then Benton County, I don't believe they're here either. All right, with that,
It's good. And I guess, Tanner, so the projects that we just had a call for, you can borrow ahead. You can obligate 2 years early. So projects that are slated for 26, 27 could amend the STIP and obligate if we need to before the end of this year.
yeah,
So once they finalize what year your project in, if it's listed at 26 or 27, it's just a STIP amendment. If you're able to obligate, we may need you to step up to. But it sounds positive that we're gonna get there anywhere, but there's opportunity now that we've got more projects that we can shift forward if we need to, so the region meets its goals. So,
Yeah.
Good. Any other questions for Tanner?
Yes, on that note, I think Pasco would be interested in moving that STIP amendment fast for Road 76. What does the timeline look like for finalizing programmed years so that we can have our STIP amendment to you before the next deadline? So we're not really waiting at the new TIP, but really modifying the existing STIP to be able to then obligate those funds for design.
yeah,
think-
Aaron, so once the board approves the projects, Aaron, do you wanna, are we able to include it into the STIP right after, like, say, next month, or?
Maria, so you could submit it, because we submit our tip amendments for this month, the afternoon of our board meeting. So if you submit it to us I think jurisdictions have to submit it to us on the third Thursday. So if you submit it to us on the 15th, we can have it included in next month's things.
But you won't be able to change the year of the programming if I do that, because that is the day before the board will ratify.
Yeah, because we technically we won't be able to say that you're receiving funding until the day after.
Right.
Does it
Well,
work
that's-
to wait a month, Maria? Does it wait to submit it in June for the July STIP amendment? Does that work for your schedule?
It works for me. I don't know if it works for everybody else. So I'm trying to figure out what's the timeline going to look like, because we're also submitting our new TIPs right around that time.
Yeah, Aaron, I guess what they wanted to know is how quickly, once the board approves the list for the call allocations, how quickly will staff have to shift it around so it's balanced, so that we can start doing STIP amendments to obligate it.
So we'll have award letters out to you that afternoon, assuming there is nothing changed at the board meeting, and then it would be at the jurisdictions to submit the amendments
Okay.
to us.
But I guess the question is, you said in 2028, we're over obligated. So some of those
Yes.
projects have to shift to 2029.
Yeah,
Is Maria's project one in 2028, or is it already in 26, 27?
It's 26.
Oh, it looks like you're good, Maria.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about the shifting. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I would submit a tip amendment before.
Okay.
Right, yeah, on May 15th.
Got it.
And how much was that for, Maria?
2.4.
Perfect. So that'll definitely make our goal.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
other comments or questions for Aaron? Okay, do I have a? There's no motion on this. That was just an update. Okay, perfect. Good update. 7B is the regional freight plan update, Alex.
So BFCOG is conducting a regional freight plan. This plan seeks to assess the current conditions of freight in our region, forecast future freight demand, and to create an overall regional freight vision. The first working group meeting was held on April 16th, where we discussed working group expectations and preliminary freight tonnage forecasts. That we have decided to break out each future working group meeting into mode specific meetings to really dive deep onto the issues pertinent to each individual mode. So the next meeting will be trucking specific, held on May 21st at 2 p.m. And we will have subsequent meetings on rail, barge, and air freight. And so be on the lookout for a calendar invite shortly for that. And also we are always looking to perfect and make sure that we provide as robust of a data analysis as possible. We've already started out reaching out to businesses in our community such as Lamb Weston and Lineage Logistics. But if you have any other contacts that you think we should reach out to, please let us know. Or additionally, any data sources that you would recommend would be great to get from you guys as well. So are there any questions?
So the WashDOT's doing this, I mean, I don't know what its impacts are on our city's area or Benton-Franklin counties, but WashDOT's doing their freight and transportation study related to the removal of the dams. So is this going to potentially coordinate with that, or is there?
Yeah, we're planning on addressing that issue and coordinating with WashDOT. And yeah, we'd love to set up a meeting. I know Phil isn't on the meeting, but I think someone else from WashDOT joined. Seth. Okay, cool. So yeah, we'd love to meet with you soon on that issue.
Yeah, it'd probably be best to reach out to Phil and coordinate something.
Okay.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Carlo, to that, just letting you know, Daisy and I have been sitting in on their TAC for the Lower Snake River Dam transportation study as well. So we will definitely be internally coordinating information on what we've gathered.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Any other questions for us? Okay, we'll move on to 7C, which is Title VI annual report.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to report, BFCOG completed its annual Title VI report. That is just following under the WashDOT's directions and requirements, really just ensuring that we are making sure that everyone has access to our planning activities and programs. And also this report documents some of our highlights that we've done for 2024. That reporting period is from January 1st to December 31st. And yeah, then we have also a list of kind of our goals for this upcoming year and how we're going to be buffing up our Title VI process. So that report was submitted on the 22nd. It was due on the 30th. It is typically due a little bit earlier in the year, so this next year will be in February. But yeah, if you want to read that report, it is on our website. And if you have any questions or have any other ideas of how we can work those muscles out for beefing up our Title VI, definitely feel free to reach out to me.
Any questions or comments? All right, thank you. 7D, Regional Pedestrian and Trails Update, Aaron.
Yes, so we are starting to be developing our regional pedestrian and trails plan. We will be having our first working group meeting next week, and we are going to be working very closely with Visit Tri-Cities to build on their wayfinding program and their wayfinding study that they did in 2018 to 2019. The main objective of the regional pedestrian and trails plan will to be adopt a regional trails network and identify locations for wayfinding signs. And we're also going to be developing a regional walking, hiking, and running trails map that will have highlighting location specific for activities. For example, this spot on the trail is suitable for walking with a cup of coffee. This spot is suitable for running. Those types of things, and then also calling out some safety locations. So this spot is well lit, this spot is not well lit. Just trying to find another way to get the word out about trails in our region, and especially with how popular the bike map is, building on that with a regional trails map. Any questions?
I have a question. This is Maria. I see the meeting is coming up. How did you choose your representatives for the different cities?
It will be the TAC members by default, and then if you want to choose anybody else going forward, please let us know or have them attend.
Okay.
The meeting invite's going to be sent out today as well with the scope of work.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions for Aaron? All right, thank you. We're on to member comments. So I'll try to go through this. Hopefully don't miss anybody. City Connell?
Nothing really today.
Okay. John with County?
Nothing to update today.
Pasco, Maria?
Very short for today. First, I want to thank everybody. Road 76 is a super high priority for us. It's going to be well received. The fact that we received funding for it, and we're excited to get started. And then on other news, we are about to advertise for bids. A pedestrian crossing is a safety funded project through HSIP for 6th Avenue and 6th Avenue and A Street. Crossing A Street is a busy, very, very wide road with a lot of freight traffic in it, and we had a fatality there. So we are excited to get that pedestrian crossing in place. That actually, to the south of A Street, we serve a big residential neighborhood that really is kind of isolated from any other services if they don't have that crossing. So we're very excited. We're just about ready to go out to bid, and that is probably one of the few construction projects we'll see in Pasco this year. This year we're going to be focusing on design and right-of-way acquisition for other projects. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. Marty, City of Prosser?
Yeah, we got the designs all done for our TBD project, Margaret Street here in town. And then I'm getting ready to go out for RFP for some smaller walkability traffic calming projects. So that's about it here.
Thanks, Marty. Carlos, City of Richland?
Well, City of Richland just kicked off its transportation system plan, our 20-year plan, but I think I've reached out to some folks for the steering committee for that plan, and one of them was Aaron, and I think I'm still waiting on a reply if the COG wants to participate in the steering committee for our transportation plan. Other than that, I got a lot of projects happening. Stevens Drive reconstruction. I got those roundabouts. One of them is complete right now at Thayer and Williams, and we'll have two other locations at Stevens Simons and Swift and Wright. But if you want to see what the other ones are gonna look like, you can sort of travel through the one at, Thayer Williams, because it's this mini roundabout. It's really neat and inexpensive. Those are safety, funds, HSIP, so. Yeah, so that's fine. Oh, what, sorry, hold on. We might be opening Queensgate Drive, south of Keene, next week. So I know that's been on a lot of people's radars, so it's looking like we're very close to doing that.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Carlos.
Yeah.
Franklin County, Kathleen?
Yeah, we're just plugging along. We got some new hires coming, including Jeff Wagner, if you remember. He'll start on Monday here and really hope to get things moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Brian still with us? Port Bend, Brian?
Yep, I'm here. So as I've mentioned in previous meetings, we've been working diligently to try and get the speed raised on our track through all of our crossings through Richland and West Richland area. And we're happy to announce we've actually been able to do that from Center Parkway all the way to Saint Street. We've raised the track speed limit from 5 miles an hour to 10 miles an hour. And then our project to replace the 240 crossing is actually going to take place the last week of May. And once that's completed, we'll be able to raise the track speed to 10 miles an hour through the whole track. So that's a big deal for us. It cuts the crossing time or crossing delays in half of what they've been previously. So that's a big deal. And so, like I said, we have that project coming up the end of May. And just other than that, just working on planning and development for several other projects for 25 and 26.
Great. Thanks, Brian. Yes, and the speed of those trains going by would make everybody very happy. We got Seth, Washington.
Yeah, I don't really have any specific updates from WashDOT. Thank you.
Okay, and then West Richland, the SR 224 Red Mountain project went out to add April 28th. The remaining connecting Washington funds, the last 16 million, is in the transportation budget, just waiting for the governor to sign it so we can open bids at the end of May with construction. If everything stays on course, to start probably July 7th. And that's about a year and a half of construction out in West Richland. So Maria's taken a year off. We're going to tear up West Richland pretty good. We're hitting Richland and West Richland. So, and then Aaron, did you have a comment?
Yes.
Yeah.
So our June TAC meeting is going to be a little different. So we are going to do a big check ceremony for the call for projects, and it will take place at 1:30 to 2:30 on the first Thursday. That would be June 5th at the Richland Public Library in the big room. So when you walk into the building, it'll be to your immediate right. And please invite your elected officials. We'll make sure that we invite our board members. And it will be a big check ceremony for all of the jurisdictions receiving funding through the call for projects.
And these checks we can take home?
Yeah, I'm working on ordering them right now. We will definitely have a dry erase one for a photo op that day. And then if we do not have the printed finalized ones, we will then deliver them after. But yes, you will be able to have big checks up in your office.
To take to the bank, yeah. Turn to cash. I think it's a great idea. Elected officials will love that. So, any other comments for the good? All right, our next meeting is June 5th, hybrid. So with that, we're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Carlo, I emailed you back. I plan on participating.